So today I wanted to talk about chord changes and particularly key changes and the right way to practice them and the wrong way to practice them, because I feel like a lot of people get this wrong. There's a lot of guitar related things you can do which actually make you a worse musician in the long run, and we don't want to do those unnecessarily if we don't understand there's a better way to do things. So I'm going to take a really kind of basic kind of chord change that requires us to go between two keys. So I'm going to go between kind of an E Dorian sound on like a E minor 6 sort of thing, and then I'm going to go from that to the same thing 2 frets down, which is going to be D minor 6, and then that's going to require us to use like a D Dorian sort of thing. And obviously you can't play the same scale over both of these, you have to change between those two scales as you're improvising. Now what I see a lot of, almost every guitarist I kind of see live a lot of the time does this kind of thing, where they'll be playing an E Dorian, and then they'll be like, oh, it's coming up to D minor, I'm just going to go 2 frets down and do exactly the same thing. Back to E. You can see where the shifts I'm doing here are, hopefully. Like I'm shifting up one box and shifting down one box to go between the two. Now, generally speaking, that works okay if you're trying to get these things in your head to start with, but it's not a good way of playing in the long term, because it kind of forces you to play certain ideas when you're improvising. It forces you to play certain lines, because you have to come down the fretboard this way or you have to go up the fretboard when you're changing between those two keys. Instead of that, what you can do is you can try and work this through properly. And the way to work it through properly is to take something like E Dorian here, and then try and superimpose where D Dorian is in the same place. And then we go back to, and now we move down a box and we do the same thing. So E Dorian will be here, and D Dorian will be here. Then we go back to E Dorian here, and then back to D Dorian, and then back to E Dorian here, back to D Dorian, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing there is I'm superimposing the two scales in different places on the fretboard vertically, so that I know where the nearest notes in each one are. If I'm playing an E Dorian, I know I can go and then to D and do stuff like that, and come down those chord tones really nicely. You can't do that as well if you're just kind of working between positions that you know how to play and just shifting to the nearest, to the most comfortable cage box at the same time. The extension to this, which is much more difficult, is when you're practicing over these changes, what you want to do is you want to really force yourself to use the whole neck. So when I'm improvising over a chord change like that and I want to really get to know it, what I'll do is I might start an E Dorian and I'm deliberately trying to make my phrasing take up as much of the neck as possible. So you get something like, change to D Dorian and still keep moving around, but then change back in the same place. So if you can see what I'm doing there is the changes between the two scales are happening in position vertically, but I'm deliberately trying to throw my brain off by trying to move around the fretboard as much as I can while I'm doing that exercise, and then I've just got a quick fire know where the vertical superimposition is of those scales, and that is much harder. So you just do that demonstration one more time. So basically I'm trying to play an E and I'm just going to try and move around the fretboard. And then here, I'm getting to here, and then I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to change to D minor here in vertical position. I get to here and I'm going to change to E minor in vertical position. This works with absolutely any chord change, or any series of chord changes that you really want to nail down. Don't skip this process, is my biggest piece of advice I can give when you're trying to get good at either playing jazz or you're trying to get good at playing, you know, fusion stuff that's got a little bit more complexity to it. Even just like the standard blues stuff where you're playing, a blues and then you've got to change maybe something like, I don't know, let's do like B flat to E flat. Sometimes what I see is something like someone going like, and then they'll try and like play the kind of the same thing. Like up here, and they're just moving between the two comfortable boxes they know, as opposed to knowing that dominant pentatonic kind of sound is in the same place there on the fretboard, and you know we can do the same thing with the F, and we can, instead of shifting up, we can try and play the F in the same position as well. So we get all three chords in the blues here, and then we move that up the neck, and we move up the neck, etc., etc. And it works much, much better than trying your best to just move between positions lazily. So give that a go. Hopefully that's been useful, and let me know in the comments if you get stuck with it.